The very first number on the column, it shows the second one.
Yeah, the first row, the
first one.
first column. Yes.
Okay. It shows 276 090 16890.
Bathi khona ke lapha inombolo ongathanda kakhulu ke ngazo ke uma bezibheka phakathi kufakazi baka DD lapho ke basathi paragraph 5 bethe paragraph E lapho bathi Roman figure 1 bathi kufakazi cethu asifundele ke le nombolo lezo ukuthi zithini ke bese na ke wayifunda le nombolo mangaba yifuna athi lapho iqala ngo 276090168990.
Yes, and the next column,
The next column,
highlighted column.
which shows a start date, it shows 10/09/2020, and then it goes to the time. It says 1808.26.
Bese lapho ke usuku loqala ke bakhuluma ngalo ke lapho ke ilanga la nge10 ngenyanga yesi9 ke lapho ke bese ngumnyaka 2020 athi isikhathi lapho ke lemizuzu ewu8 ngemuva kokushaya kwehora la ka6 bese ngemizuzwana ewu26.
Yes.
And then the following column, which says other party, it shows a number of 079 039 7605.
Bese ke inombolo elandelayo ngapha la kade khona omunye umuntu bekhuluma naye ke lapho ke u079 039 7605.
Now, if you can compare that number, the 079 039 7605 that you've just placed on record, with the one appearing on exhibit YY8, the letter from the Legal Practice Council.
Yeah, the letter from our office, the Legal Practice Council, is the same number that appears on Exhibit DD.
Bathi ke uma uqhathanisa ke inombolo lezi kodwa ufunda ke kumanje ke futhi le nombolo ezana kule ncwadi iqhamuka lapho ke ngaphansi kwe Legal Practice Council ungabe ziyafana noma ayifani yini ke le nombolo lezi ke athi ufakazi inombolo ezizodwa futhi ziyafana.
Description of the call.
The description of a call, it shows PCM, which I think it's please call me. With the full description is PCM.
Thank you.
Bathi ke lapho ke ngabe mhlambi inkulumo enjani ke lana athi ngababhala ukuthi PCM ucatha mhlambi ke lapho kusho ukuthi umuntu wathumela omunye ke call back lapho ke mhlambi umyalezo ka call back.
Yes, the next call.
The next call in the first column, it shows the number 276090168990. The start date of that call, it shows 10/09/2020, 180849, and then the other party's number, it shows 079 039 7605. And then the call description, it says the same, PCM.
Athi ke lapho ke ucingo olulandelayo ke namhlanje inkulumo kathi khona ke landelayo ke lapho ke phakathi kwele nombolo ezilandelayo inombolo eqala ke lapho ke u276090168990 bese athi ilanga elibhaliwe lapho ke 10 ngenyanga yesi9 ngomnyaka 2020 isikhathi lapho ke u18:08:49 usuthi imizuzu ewu8 ngemuva kwehora la ka6 ntambama ke bese imizuzwana khona ke u49 ke lapho ke athi umuntu kade athunyelwe ke umyalezo ngo call back ke lapho ke inombolo zakhe ilezi 079 039 7605 bese athi inkulumo indlela athi inkulumo ke ingayo ke lapho ke athi uPCM athi should please call me.
And how does that number, the other part 079 039 7605, compare to the number on your record, exhibit YY8?
The number is the same as the exhibit YY and DD.
bathi ke uma uqhathanisa ke inombolo ekhona ngaphakathi kombuso ka YY8 futhi no DD5 open bracket E close bracket open bracket Roman figure 1 close bracket uma ngabe uqhathanisa ke ngabe inombolo lezi ziyafana yini noma ayifani ke athi ufakazi inombolo ezizodwa futhi ke ziyafana le inombolo.
Yes, the next call. The next page.
The first number on this column is 2706090168990. The start date of this, it shows 01/10/2020, and then the other party's number, it shows 079-039-7605. The description shows PCM.
Athi ke ucingo olulandelayo mhlawumbe inkulumo elandelayo phakathi kwenombolo ezimbili ke lezi ezikhethekile ke lapho ke inombolo yokuqala ke lapho ke athi 276090168990 ke bathi ilanga lalapho ke ilanga lokuqala ke ngenyanga yes10 lapho ke umnyaka 2020 ke isikhathi lapho kwathi 19:49.32 usuthi imizuzu ewu49 ngemuva kwehora lesikhombisa ke ebusuku ke lapho bese ngemizuzwana ewu32 bathi ke inombolo ade leyo ke kade bethumela ku callback e-other party noma elinye ke iqembu ke lapho ke u079 0397605 bathi ke lapho ke indlela inkulumo yakho yakhona kade ku PCM should please call me.
And the other party, that number, how does it compare to the one in Exhibit YY8?
With Exhibit YY8, it is the same number in terms of our records and the letter.
Bathi inombolo ke khona ke ngaphansi kwelinye iqembu ke mhlawumbe umuntu wesibili ke khona ngalana ngabe mhlawumbe iyafana yini ke inombolo khona ke ngale phakathi kombukiso ka YY8 athi ke inombolo eyodwa futhi iyafana.
This document has already been admitted. Exhibit DD5E Roman figure 1, if you can just, and the trend is the same, is that correct?
On the
You just count the number of calls on each page.
sorry. On the first page, it shows 2 calls, and the second page is 2 calls as well. And then the third page, it's only 1 call that's highlighted. The fourth page shows 2 calls. The fifth page, it's only 1 call. The sixth page is only 1 call. Seventh page, it's only 1 call. Eighth page, 2 calls. Page 9, it's only 1 call.
Athi ke ade ubuza ukuthi ngabe mhlawumbe bakhulume ke ikhathi ezingangani kulamakhasi ka imbukiso lapho exhibit DD5 open bracket E close bracket Roman figure 1 athi ke kukhasi lokuqala ke bakhulume ikhathi ezimbili ke lapho ke kepha kuma buka ikhasi lesibili ke lapho kwakhulume ke ikhathi ezimbili futhi ke uma buka ikhasi lesithathu nakhona kwakhulume isikhathi esisodwa ke lapho ke uma buka ikhasi lesine ke lapho athi bakhulume ke ikhathi ezimbili ke kepha kuma ngabe buka ke ikhasi lesihlanu ke lapho kwakhulume isikhathi esisodwa uma buka ikhasi lesithupha ke lapho ke athi nakhona kwakhulume isikhathi esisodwa ke lapho ke uma buka ikhasi lesikhombisa lapho ke futhi nakhona kwakhulume isikhathi esisodwa ke lapho ke athi ke uma buka ikhasi lesishagalolunye nakhona kwakhulume isikhathi ezimbili ke uma buka isikhathi lesishagalolunye athi bakhulume isikhathi esisodwa ke futhi.
Just for my understanding, not only me, is who is calling who, so that it's simplified. Or which number is calling which number.
Well, my lord, it's already on record.
Yeah, fine.
The number 079-039-7605 is sending, please call me PCM, to the number, no, I'm sorry, the number 060-9016-890 is sending, please call me on those dates, to the number 079 0397605.
Yeah.
And the exchange of calls between the two numbers. So the evidence is already on record, my lord, that the number 0690168890 belongs to accused number 2. It's been admitted.
So it's the number of number 2 calling the LPC.
No,
Sorry.
calling Mr. Mjiako.
Yeah, I'm calling Mr. Mjiako.
Yes, and the other way around, my lord.
Okay.
So there's communication between the two numbers. That's the essence of
Yeah.
this witness evidence, my lord.
kade inkosi enkantolo kibuza ukuthi kahle abobanike labantu ababili ade beqhumana ke lapho ke bese ke umshushisi uyasho khona ukuthi mayelana nodaba lwale ncwadi yale nkulumo yenombolo ezikhethekile ke lezi ukuthi sele inkosi enkantolo yamukele ke lofakazi ngaphambi kwayo ke futhi basho khona ukuthi le nombolo lezi ke khona ke ngalana ke ezaka +27 6090168890 ke ukuthi inombolo zakamsola wesibili ke lapho ke kepha ke lezi za inombolo elandelayo zaka 0790397605 ukuthi inombolo zakamnumzana ke umjiyako
Thank you, my lord. That is all.
futhi washo khona njalo ukuthi yena ke umsolo wesibili club yaxhumana khona ke nomnumzana umjiyako.
Any cross-examination, sir?
As it is the court, my lord. I'm not so sure if we can be allowed to move away from proper protocol.
From?
From protocol.
How can we move away?
That's the reason why I'm saying I'm not even so sure, my lord, if I can be heard. I know that this is going to Mr. Ramsipili. I'm saying
Yeah,
I know that this witness'
yeah,
testimony
yeah.
is about the client that is represented by Mr. Ramusipili. I, however, have some questions to him, but would have requested that, and that's something that I've already discussed with Mr. Ramusipili, that probably Mr. Ramusipili then starts with this cross-examination. If I have a question subsequent to what he would have asked this witness, then I would request an indulgence from the court to follow him. But
No, the protocol here is, and I was told by you, that because your clients are charged in terms of common purpose,
yes,
or furthering a common purpose,
yes,
what obtains for one obtains for the other, meaning the evidence led by the state
Yes.
in trying to prove its case beyond a reasonable doubt
Yes.
on the basis of the furtherance of a common purpose.
yes,
You are jointly defending your clients because they are charged jointly.
yes,
And you said anybody can cross-examine anybody at any time. That's what you told me. So if Mr. Ramusipili wants to cross-examine, he has been doing it all along.
yes.
Even Mr. Ngomalo, even you, and even Ms. Nchololo, and even the late Mr. Ngomezu. That's
Yes.
what you are doing.
Yes, ma. I was actually referring to the normal sequence. Look, I'm representing.
Yeah, I hear you.
Accused number one.
Yeah,
and
yeah. So
number
you want Mr. Ramusipili to start?
that is what I would have requested, my lord.
My lord, if the court is so inclined, I don't have a problem to start. As the court pleases.
The state, Mr. Baloyi?
We don't have a problem, my lord.
Okay.
Should I then proceed?
Yeah, you can proceed. So Mr. Ramusipili is cross-examining the present witness, Mr. Sambo.
Yes.
Manje ke kade acela ke ummeli omeleke umnumzana oqala futhi umnumzana wesithathu ke ekuthizeni inkosi enkantolo emvume ukuthi aqungaqali yena ke kuze ngifuna ukubuza ukuthi ufakazi okhona ke njengamanje ke kepha qale ke umnumzana uRamsepili omeleke umnumzana wesibili.
Good afternoon, Mr. Sambo.
Afternoon.
I'm going to be brief because this evidence is about a particular legal practitioner who's yet himself to testify in this court. But by way of background, has my learned colleague from the state intimated to you why you are here today?
They indicated that my presence was based on the affidavit that I drafted in terms of the records that we have pertaining to Advocate Mjiako. And my presence was required for me to then give evidence in terms of what the LPC has on their records pertaining to Advocate Mjiako.
Wathi ke manje uzobuka kumbuzo ukuthi malana nendaba ke le nombolo nomhlambi le nombolo ade zikhona ke lana ke futhi ngabe bakutshelile yini inombolo zakamnozana uMjiyako ngabe bakutshelile yini isizathu sokuthi bekhona ngaphambi kwenkosi enkantolo lethu ufakazi bakho ngoba umnumzana uMjiyako usengekezi enkantolo azophana ngofakazi bakhe ngabe manje isizathu sakho sokuthi bekhona enkantolo yisiphi ke athi ufakazi isizathu simlethelana ukuthi bamcelile ukuthi akezeke azokhuluma ngedaba lo affidavit awalibhala ke mhlawumbe incwadi ayibhala ngaphansi kwesifungo ke la ikhuluma khona ngomnumzana uMjiyako futhi nale nombolo lezi zakhe abhalise ngazo ngaphansi ku-LPC.
Now, for me, the background is the following, and it will be remiss of me not to give you the background as to why you are here today. The background is the following. I represent accused number 2, and during the trial, within the trial, and in the course of this trial, accused number 2 has given me the instruction as follows, and the late Mr. Mngomezulu, may his soul rest in peace. The following instructions: that this practitioner, that is the subject matter of this exercise today, Mr. Mjiako, he did not give Mr. Mjiako the mandate to represent him under any circumstances, be it in this case or in the Thabane case, for the possession of a firearm. That is the background. Are you with me?
Yes.
Now, let us not be misconstrued. And I've listened attentively to what Mr. Mngomezulu, the late, has put here in court and what I've also put. Never ever have we intimated or suggested that Mr. Mjiako is not an attorney. That has never been our submission or suggestion.
Bathi khona ke njalo ke umnumzana uma sesibuka ke isikhangiso secala ke masiqala ke emuva lapho kumana nedaba le background la khona ke bathi bona ke bakaze basho noma wena ke ngesikhathi ekade khona kumzila ngaphakathi komzila ke umnumzana awakazi ukukhuluma idalo ukuthi umnumzana uMjiyako kade kumele ke kwicala lokudayisa idakamizwa noma lutholakala nezidakamizwa ke futhi ke bese ukuthi yena khona njalo ke futhi nosele ashona ke umnumzana uMngomezulu ke lapho ke uthi bona abakaze bayingabazi ukuthizeni umnumzana uMjiyako ke ummeli.
At issue, and the relevant person that can come and speak about that is Mr. Mjiako himself as to how he came to represent accused number 2. In particular, at the taking down of the confession at Boksburg Magistrates Court on the 24th of June 2020.
Bathi khona ke njalo ke lapho ke umuntu ongaze futhi kube isixazululo manje kube isisombululo ke sale inkinga esibhekene nakho ukuthi ke kuze ke yena ke umnumzana ke uMjiyako alethe ufakazi bakhe ke azochazela inkosi enkantolo atshela inkosi enkantolo ukuthi ngabe empeleni nangoqiniso bekakumele yini ke umnumzana ngesikhathi kade kulapho ngaphansi kwenkantolo ke seBoksburg lapho ke la ngesikhathi kade thatha khona ke confession.
Are you with me?
Yes, I'm following.
Yes.
Yebo ngilalele.
So, these documents that we talk about, the confirmation of enrollment with the LPC Exhibit YY, we don't put that into dispute.
Bathi
And-
mara
Yes, you can have
athi ke mara nodaba le kwama lencwadi ke khona ke lana ke la qhamuka lapha LPC ke lapho ke exhibit YY ukuthi bona abayingabazi ukuthi qhamuka lapha LPC incwadi kaMnumzana ke uDominic Ntokozo Mjiyako.
And Exhibit YY4, which is an FFC, Fidelity Fund certificate issued to Mr. Mjiako in 2020, on the 24th of February 2020. We don't dispute that.
athi futhi incwadi ekhona-ke lapha ngaphakathi kombukiso ka-YY4 eqhamuka lapho-ke e-legal practitioners fidelity fund ikuwukuthi iqhamuka khona-ke wathi naye futhi abayiphikisi-ke incwadi leyo enenombolo FFC 04415/2020.
And the subsequent, because you've now testified to say this 04415 of 2020 FFC number was a duplicate which was allocated to Mr. Mujiako and a practitioner by WLS Scholz, correct?
Yes.
Futhi nenombolo
I'm sorry,
lezi
MSL, not W, it's
Yeah.
MSL Scholz.
futhi nale nombolo zokuthi khona-ke la kade khona-ke iphutha ngesikhathi wena ibhala-ke lapho-ke iy'nombolo lezi zakamnumzana nomjiyako futhi nomama uScotty-ke lapho-ke lezi zaka 04415 no 4415/2020 athi yebo kunjalo-ke asikuphiki lokho.
Now, if I understood your testimony well, amongst other duties that you embark upon in your capacity as an administrator senior, you assist legal practitioners in applying and obtaining of FFCs, correct?
Yes. Before the appointment as a LO, legal officer, I mean.
Bathi-ke lapho-ke umsebenzi wakho wenza njengonobhala komkhulu-ke lapho-ke legal practice council kusifulekelela abameli-ke uma beletha icelo zabo-ke lapho-ke athi ngey'nombolo athi yebo ngaphambi ukuthi babavumele ukuthi basebenze njengabameli abayimele.
But then you, and correct me if I'm wrong, you don't work for the Fidelity Fund, you work for the Legal Practice Council, correct?
Yes, yes.
Bathi ungilungiseke uma ngabe ngingajulile kahle kusho ngasebenzeli-ke lapho-ke Fidelity Fund athi yebo ngisebenzele khona kepha ngisebenzela-ke lama-legal practice council.
Now, this error that resulted in the allocation of a duplicate FFC number 04415/2020 to both Scholz and Mujiako happens at the portal of FFC, not at LPC, right?
It happens with the Fidelity Fund portal, yes.
Yes.
Bathi-ke le nombolo lezi-ke ekuyinombolo eyodwa ethizeni-ke nini-ke abantu ababili-ke lapho umjiyako futhi noScotty-ke lapho-ke usho ukuthi wena-ke usebenzela ngaphansi kwe-Fidelity Funds account FFC athi yebo kunjalo angisebenzi khona-ke.
Now, when you assist practitioners, legal practitioners, in applying and therefore them obtaining Fidelity Fund certificates, what access do you have at the portal of the Fidelity Fund?
There's two portals that the system offers. There's a portal where the practitioners have their login credentials. They then apply for the applications on their side. As administrators of that system, we have a system that shows all the applications that are received and then the certificates that are issued, which is only limited to the officials at the LPC and the Fidelity Fund as well. So it's for us to see whether this certificate has been issued and what the certificate looks like. So we have access for that.
Athi lapho banama-system amabili-ke lapho-ke system eqala kule portal yabo athi kula khona-ke abantu bafaka khona-ke iy'celo zabo-ke futhi namanamba wabo ngesikhathi besenza-ke iy'celo zabo-ke kepha-ke isystem yesibili athi kula khona-ke wathola khona-ke ukuthi mhlawumbe lama-certificate okusuke bewavumile wabunikeza abantu-ke ngokuthi ngabe mhlawumbe aqukethe okuyinkulumo ekuyiqiniso noma mhlawumbe uqukethe ulwazi okuyiqiniso mayelana nalabantu okusube bafake iy'celo zabo ekuthizeni batholeke lama-certificate okusebenza njengabameli.
And in your affidavit, Exhibit YY3, paragraph 3.2 thereof, you say this was this duplication of one number FFC to be allocated to two practitioners. It was a bona fide, that is, it was not a bad faith thing.
Yes.
It was a bona fide error, technical error. did you seek an explanation from the FFC itself, who's the owner of the portal, to say, how come your system allocated one number for the same Fidelity Fund certificate, who don't even practice under the same practice or under the same name and style of practice?
From the email that we had received from Mr. Mjiako, Advocate Mjiako, I then initiated contact with the system developers from the Fidelity Fund portal.
kade ebuza ke kufaka ukuthi malana nodaba lolu lwenkulumo affidavit elibhaliwe nabankulumo ebhalwe ngaphansi kwesifungo ke lapho ke malana nodaba la ka 3.2 la khona ke inombolo eyodwa ke kepha ke inombolo eyodwa le bese inikezwe abantu ababili futhi abangasebenzi ngaphansi kwenkampani eyodwa ke abameli ukuthi uqhamuke njani ukuthi kwenzeke lolu daba ke lolu ke yasho kufakaza ukuthi basamuza ukuthi ngabe mhlawumbe nazama ixhumana nalomuntu oqhamuke nale portal lena ke noma nale system le athi ufakazi yebo yena waxhumana ke nalomuntu owenze le system wa developer le system ethizeni athole ulwazi ukuthi kungani inombolo eyodwa beyinikeze abantu ababili.
I then received a response from the system developer indicating that it was a technical error on their system side.
athi ke lapho ubuza khona ukuthi kungani umnumzana uMjiyako futhi ke ngemuva ukuthi umnumzana uMjiyako axhumane naye ke yena wakhuluma ne system developer ibuza ukuthi kungani kwenzeke leli phutha leli ke bethi wathi yena ke iphutha elenzekile lapha kule system yabo.
Before we go forward, I don't want Mr. Baloyi to jump up and down now and say, I led you to come up with hearsay evidence, which is inadmissible. Then I'll be told to lie on the bed that I made. The person that you called from the FFC portal, the technical person, if we can have his name, and then through the state we can ask that person to come and verify this what you have just explained, and he can further tell us about these technical errors that occur and the frequency with which they occur, if they occur at all. Right, so I'm not going to take you there.
Okay.
kade asho khona ke njalo ukuthi ummeli emalana nalo daba lo afundi mhlawumbe sihambe sisheshele sigijime siphambili ke lapho ke kepha kathi ukuthi athole ke igama lo muntu ke ufakazi waxhumana naye ke ebuza khona njalo ngabe leliphutha lenzike kanjani ke lapho ke ngoba afundi kusasa ke basathi ke lo mbhedo awenzile kumathala le kuona ke sekusho ukuthi sekuphakama kusho ke lapho umshushisi khona ke lapho ke kepha icecela ukuthi lapho ke esithole ke igama lo muntu ufakazi owaxhumana naye futhi nenombolo zakhe bese naye abuye ke la ezingaphambi kwenkantolo azokwenza iqinisekiso ukuthi yebo empeleni nangeqiniso wakhuluma nalofakazi okhona njengamanje ke bekhuluma ngalo lolu daba lolu othi athi urana yena ke ngaphansi kwenkulumo ke affidavit kwenzeke iphutha.
Now, this duplication of the FFC number to both Scholz and Mjiako happens because during the course of this case, this FFC number was mentioned in relation to Mjiako's involvement with accused number 2 for the Boksburg taking down of a statement by the magistrate. Would I be correct? In fact, let me put it this way. When did Ms. Scholz first complain that I hear that my Fidelity Fund number is being mentioned in relation to the name of Mr. Mjiako?
When this issue came to me, it was initially from Mr. Mjiako.
Yes.
Based on the email, I think it's exhibit, exhibit YY5. This is the first time that it came to my attention that there is a duplicate fidelity number for Ms. Scholz and Mr. Mjiako.
bathi ke lapho ke ngabe nazwa ninike ukuthi umama uScott futhi nomnumzana Advocate Mjiako ke basebenzisa ke inombolo ezizodwa ke ezivela ngaphansi kweFFC athina ke lokhu ngesikhathi beqala ke ukuzwa kuqhamuka kumnumzana koMjiako lakho ngesikhathi bekakuzwa ke futhi athi kubhaliwe khona ke la ngaphakathi kwemibukiso exhibit YY5 lapho ke kuthi umama uScott futhi nomnumzana uMjiako ekuthi basebenzisa ke inombolo eyodwa ke ewela ngaphansi kweFFC.
Now, from the gist of my reading and understanding of YY5, that is Mujiako's email, is that Mrs. Scholz complains that Mujiako is fraudulently touting her or his FFC number as his own. So did this Scholz person complain to the LPC or they wrote directly to Mujiako? Do you know anything about that?
With that, I cannot confirm it.
bathi mina nodaba lakaScholz ke futhi nomjiyakho la uScholz kade asho khona ke ukuthi na ke umjiyakho usebenzisa ke inombolo lezi zakhe ke yena ke ikhethekile zokusebenza ngaphansi kwa FFC futhi asho nathi usebenzise ngokumkhonyovu ke ingabe lapho ke uScholz wakhuluma nani mathupha ekhala ke mhlawumbe lethe isikhalazo sakhe kumana nalo daba lulu noma mhlawumbe ukhuluma nomjiyakho athena ke lapho ngeke akhona ukuthi aphendule.
Okay, now let's drift away a bit from that. You've said, what is your current position now at the LPC?
I'm a legal officer at the record section, which
At
is
the
part of
record section.
Professional Affairs Department.
bathi uzokuthi isikhundla sakho lapho ke athena ke
Professional Affairs Department, record section.
Professional Affairs Department aphe kuma record section abashicela khona ke.
Now, apart from the technical bona fide error that I say somebody else will come and testify as to how that occurred on their system, if that person comes at all. In your experience as the Professional Affairs Legal Officer Senior, are you aware of cases where practitioners have colluded, and I'm going to say the word colluded, I've never used that word, but I'm using it here.
Have you never heard that word?
I've never thrown it around here in the context where it was thrown around.
Have you never heard the word colluded?
My Lord, I think I knew that in grade R.
I thought I said somebody was colluding. Somebody accused this court of colluding. You've never heard that, me saying that.
I remember
Yes.
there was that story, my Lord. I'm not going to
It's a story.
enter
I
that
said,
domain.
okay.
Yeah. So, have you ever had, and from the LPC, the Hallowed Halls next door, where practitioners collude with certain staff members that side from the LPC, and those practitioners obtained FFC fraudulent? Have you ever heard of that incident?
No, not to my knowledge, no.
Not to your knowledge.
Yeah.
Okay.
bathi
Yeah.
bathi ngabe yiwezwa yini la khona ke mhlawumbe abameli bekhulumisana mathupha ke nabantu abasebenza ngaphakathi kule usebenza khona ke athi necha yena akusangakakuzwa ke lokho.
In the event if you say it's rumors, then rumors it is.
No,
But
I don't
yes.
speak about rumors in court. Let's leave that.
Okay.
You've answered me that you don't know. And let me not also be misconstrued that I'm saying in this instance that happened. I'm not saying that. I must be clear on that score. Now I see you saying in paragraph 3.2 that I referred to that once it was established that there's this duplication, then there was a correction and Mujiako was allocated a new FFC number, correct?
Yes.
Uthi sengemuva ukuthi babone ukuthi kade likhona ke iphutha likhona lapho ke umnumzana umjiyakho bamnikeza ke inombolo zakhe ezikhethekile zokusebenza ngabe ngikuzwe kahle athi yebo kunjalo.
And then what happened to the 04415? Was it then, did it then remain with ML Scholz, or was she also, or he also allocated a new FFC number?
Now the number remained with Ms. Goltz.
Bathi yini kenzeka mana nale nombolo lezi zakaScholz kade anazo mhlawumbe namnikeza ke ezinye izintsha ke noma mhlawumbe wasala ke esebenzisa zona lezi ke athi ufakazi waqhubeka esebenzisa zona lezi nombolo.
Wait. I'm just about to wrap up because like I told you, I'm not going to delve much into because I've told you the issue that we have. We've never said Mujiako is not an attorney. I'm just clarifying these other points. But the standpoint is that most of what you've provided, we are not quibbling or fighting with it. Okay, my lord, I think that's basically what I needed to cover. If I may. Oh, by the way, before I leave the platform, that person that you said you called and they told you that this was a bona fide technical error at the FFC, can you give us the name of that person?
Yes, I can. I'll just have to check the surname.
bathi mayelana nalo muntu ethi wamfonela lapho ngaphansi kwe-FFC ungakhona yini usitshela amagama wakhe-ke athi yebo ngingakhona kepha ngithi ngiqale ngibuke lana kula madocumente engiwaphethe bese ngibuye ngipha amagama noma imininingwane yakhe.
It's just that it's not on this bundle. I can start with the first name and then I'll give the surname at a later stage because I cannot recall at the moment. It's Herman at the Fidelity Fund offices. He's the system developer at that office.
athi-ke igama uherman osebenza lapha ngaphansi kwe-fidelity systems ke lapho-ke kepha-ke ukhohliwe ukuthi isibongo sakhe ubani-ke kepha lokho angasitshela khona-ke njengamanje athi futhi uyena kwa-developer le system noma i-developer yele system.
Thank you, my lord. I mean, those are the questions that I had for the witness.
Yes, okay, thanks.
Thank you, sir. I also don't have a lot to ask. In addition to what Mr. Ramusipili sketched out as a way of a background, actually this whole process regarding the investigation of the FF number came about as a result of the fact that I got a little bit, when I went through that exhibit JJ, which is the confession form that one of the accused person made here, I came across that number and then I then asked what is really the relevance of that FFC number there. Then it was said that is a Fidelity Fund certificate number. And then I also asked it, but why would it be here? That is when then this whole process started to come out as to whose number does this belong and stuff like that. And then it later emerged that apparently there was a duplication of numbers. That number, that single number, was allocated to Mrs. Scholz and also to Mr. Mchiako. Do you understand?
I understand.
athi-ke umeli udaba noma inkulumo eqhamuke ngemuva kade ngibukela lapho kumbukiso ka-JJ noma exhibit JJ ngesikhathi wathola lenombolo lezi ezikhethekile wathi FFC number ukuthi kungani le nombolo lezi khona ke lana zibhaliwe-ke lapho-ke futhi inombolo lezi kanti akusiyizona lezi esetshenziswa kanti noma kade zisetshenziswa-ke khona-ke abantu ababili futhi abehlukene futhi abangafani bese umnumzana umjiyakho futhi noScholz-ke khona njalo-ke athi yebo ufakazi ngiyakuvisisa-ke lokho.
Thank you. Now, the state took an endeavor to try and clarify the two numbers, which is why ultimately you requested to pen an affidavit trying to explain how these two numbers came about.
Hlangothi zombuso la kubuza-ke usothatha khona-ke wabhala-ke lapho-ke washo ukuthi kungani le nombolo iqhamukile-ke lana kusinjalo yini.
Thank you. Now, you are saying in Exhibit YY2 YY2, which is page 3, that advocate, on paragraph 2, Advocate Mchiako was in possession of a Fidelity Fund certificate for the year 2020. However, due to a bona fide technical error on the FFC portal, the certificate number was a duplicate FFC 4415 of 2020, and the error has been rectified. His Fidelity Fund certificate number is FFC 13911 of 2020, not so?
Correct?
wathi lapho kubhalwe khona ukuthi umnumzana Advocate Mjiyako kade angaphansi kwenombolo ze-Fidelity Fund Certificate ngomnyaka 2020 ke lapho ke ngembangela yephutha elenzeka lapho kule area yenu FFC portal ke lapho ke futhi i-certificate number wagcina ke ekade kuyephutha lapho ke FFC 4415/2020 bese ngemuva ukuthi nilungise iphutha lelo ke bese wathola ke inombolo lezi ezilandelayo ezwela ngaphansi ku-Fidelity Fund Certificate number la kade khona ke ku FFC 13911/2020 akusinjalo yini athi yebo kunjalo.
No, thank you, sir. Now, before we proceed, are you aware of a labor court matter? A labor court matter where Ms. Matonsela took the Legal Practice Council and I think 6 others, 7. Yeah, no, there were 6. The Legal Practice Council is the first respondent, and the plus 6 on an agent application to hold certain proceedings against her. Are you aware of that case?
I'm aware of it, but I haven't gone through the whole thing.
Bathe lazi icala lakamama uMadonsela atathe khona ke iboard leni le-LPC futhi abanye kade kuzithupha ke lapho ke ebavele icala lapho ke Labour Court athi yebo ke laqala kapha akakaze alifunde amafunde ke ngalo ngokujulile.
Is it so that the gist of this case evolves around disciplinary hearings which had to be instituted amongst certain members, including the applicant herself here, amongst employees of LPC relating to the exchange of money, which included the facilitation of irregular and unlawful falsification of attorneys' audits, irregular issuing of, irregular issuing of certificates of good standing and Fidelity Fund certificates. Are you familiar with that?
I was made to believe that I would testify in relation to Mjiyako and not issues that are outside the scope of why I was called here to testify on.
I did not get that, sir. You're
I was-
saying you were made to believe
I was
what?
made to believe that in terms of me being at this court
Yes.
was to testify in terms of the records
Yes.
for Mr. Mjiyako.
Yes.
I believe, I don't know if it's proper that we then transcend to possibly an ongoing matter with the LPC with someone else that's not related to Mr. Mjiyako's enrollment and his records as
No,
well.
but rest assured, we won't get into the merits of what happened in this application. It's just by way of a background to the questions that are going to follow.
Okay.
Yeah. Are you aware that there were these so serious allegations against certain individuals? This is a reported case from the labor court in Johannesburg. Are you aware of this so serious allegation against certain employees of the LPC?
As I testified in terms of when I was asked if they are, if I'm aware of this type of things and if I'm aware of the case, I have, like I said, gone through it at
Thank
some
you.
point, but not in detail as to the allegations leveled against
Thank you,
some
sir.
officials there.
Thank you, sir. And with the following question, I'm not insinuating anything. It's
Okay.
just an innocent question.
Okay.
Now, you would agree with me that up until this point, LPC, and you will correct me if I'm wrong, but LPC might not be in a position to tell, or is not in a position to tell, who the beneficiaries of these corrupt schemes were, and who the beneficiaries of these not so corrupt schemes were. Not so.
Please, my lord. we let the first question or two to slide, but my lord, these are unrelated to the issue that we are discussing with. As the witness has indicated, some of those matters are pending before court. In any case, we submit that those issues are outside the scope of this witness evidence, which we made it plain from the beginning that this is just about Mr. Mjiako.
As it is the court, my lord, it is unfortunate that this, as I look at this witness, I don't see Mr. Sambo, ne?
Sambo.
I see LPC. Do you understand?
Sorry, Mr.
You are there representing LPC. Is it not so that all the correspondence that you did in your papers in relation to this Mr. Mjiako's matter, you did it on behalf of LPC? You did not do it in your personal capacity, not so?
It was on behalf of the LPC.
Good. This
Mr.
case...
Mr.
leads-
Mnisi.
Yes, madam.
This case you're quoting of Professor from Cape Town, has it been finalized?
What is the issue with the professor from Cape Town, madam?
You said she sued, she obtained on an urgent basis an order, or she sued some persons who were employed by the LPC
Yes.
because allegedly you did whatever, corruption and what have you. Madonsela, Miss Madonsela,
Yes.
is that matter finalized? That's all I just want to know.
It's actually not a claim for damages matter, my lord.
Yeah, but is it finalized?
At the labor court, it was finalized, yes. I'm
What,
quoting
what
something.
what was the order? What was the order which was made?
The order was that the proceedings against her should proceed. She actually wanted to interdict on an agent basis.
She failed.
She failed
Was the matter then finalized after that?
by,
By the courts, the labor court.
yes, it was finalized
So there's no more litigation.
at the labor court in respect of this matter. No. There's none, my lord. And in fact, the labor court said, well, it is well aware of certain litigants who, when facing disciplinary hearings, they use these court processes in order to delay. Actually, they are employing these court processes for delaying tactics. After having said that there's no agency, or it can find no reasons for agency in this application, it went on to deal with the merits, and the judge specifically said, I want to deal, I know that if I do not find that there is no agency, then the matter needs to go to the normal role. But let me also attend to that so that I bring finality in this matter, so that LPC can immediately take on disciplinary hearings or proceed with the disciplinary hearing against the applicant, and then it also finalized it in that regard. In other words, the applicant can then not come and say, okay, I failed on agency, and then I'm taking it to the normal role. No, it was finalized. Her remedy now is to go on appeal to the labor appeal.
When you say she's going on appeal, it means it's not finalized.
No, it's finalized.
That's how I understand the law.
No, it's
What does an
finalized
appeal
because
do?
there is no intention.
What does an appeal predicate?
If the papers have been filed, if the person that is not happy with the decision of the court files papers indicating their intention that we're going to appeal this
Yeah.
matter, then that holds the operation of the decision of that case. But in this case, that has not yet happened, my lord. As it is, this is a portable judgment on the face of it, which is...
Yeah, but that is on, according to you, that's on agency, is that not so? That judgment, is it on agency?
No, all that I'm saying, my lord, comes from this judgment.
Yeah,
the
yeah.
court found that
What?
her application was not agent. There's no agency in her application.
Right, and thereafter what happened?
It went on to deal with the merits.
right? And thereafter, what happened?
And the court found that even on the merits, there are no reason that she can try to stop the continuation of the disciplinary proceedings against her.
Fine. And then, who is appealing now? You spoke about an appeal.
There's
Not-
no person that is appealing, Margaret. I'm only responding to the court when the court says, is that matter finalized?
That's it, yeah. And then you spoke about an appeal.
I'm saying, my lord, I'm saying, my lord, if a person makes their intention to appeal clear, then that has got a propensity to stop the operation of the order of the initial court. But in this case, there's none, there's no appeal which has been filed.
Okay, fine.
Thank you, madam. So you're saying my question was, as is, you're not in a position to tell this court, and I'm saying I'm not insinuating anything here. I'm only following the spirit of the judgment. Do you understand?
If I may, can I look at the judgment, if it's possible?
You're welcome, sir.
Okay.
You're welcome. It is not fake. It's from the labor court.
Who was the judge then?
Sorry?
The name of the judge there? Tutalimaje, yes.
Oh, Limaje, okay.
Yes.
All right.
You want to go and read it? We can request an indulgence, me and the state, for you to go.
Yeah, I
look at
can
the
read it,
judgment.
but however, as from just reading the fly notes,
Yes.
and in relation to your question,
Yes.
in terms of the judgment that you say, is that the court dismissed
Yes.
the urgency and then went on to the merits
Yes.
and all of that.
Yes.
And I believe that you also mentioned that the judgment or the order was that the LPC should then proceed with the
Yes.
disciplinary
Yes.
hearing. I cannot then proceed to answer those questions because the LPC is still dealing, as you say,
Yeah.
and then I'll go through this thing with the LPC still doing what they need to do in terms of disciplinary hearings. So I cannot proceed to answer in the way that you.
Maybe we misunderstanding each other. I do not
Yes.
want us to get into the merits of the judgment. You see, because I don't know whether you're involved or not in the LPC. But now, the reason for the institution of the disciplinary hearing, amongst others, the applicant in that matter, was the issuing of fraudulent fidelity fund certificates. And I'm saying,
Is it not the alleged
yes,
issuing?
alleged, yes.
We are lawyers.
Alleged issuing, yes. And I'm saying, I do not insinuate anything. Do you understand? That the principle that I want us to talk about from that judgment. Do you understand?
I understand.
Thank
Okay.
you. Let me have my
kangathumeli-ke ufakazi angafundi-ke inkulumo yesinqumo noma isinqumo senkosi enkantolo eyamikisa-ke ngalenye isinqumo sayo mayelana nodaba lolu kade akhuluma ngakho, kepha kade akhuluma ngokuthi-ke khona-ke iy'nombolo zomkhonyovu ejwayele ukuthi zikhishwe-ke lapho ngokungemthetho ngabantu abasebenza lapha e-LPC-ke noma FFC noma malana nodaba lama-fidelity funds account lapho-ke athi ufakazi yebo ngiyakuzwa amakhuluma ngalo daba lolu, kepha ngeke ngijobelele ngikhulume ngokujulile-ke mayelana nodaba lolu lwesinqumo senkosi enkantolo eyayimikisa ngaso-ke mayelana nodaba lolu ukuthi khona-ke abantu abathizini abanikeza-ke iy'nombolo zokusebenza ngokungemthetho.
Thank you. Now, in view of the fact that there's a fidelity fund certificate also in this matter that seems to have its own issues, which is the reason why I tend to refer to this matter. on the principle that I say we need to work on, do you understand? On the principle that we should extract from this case, do you understand?
athi ke mana udaba lwenombolo eyikhethekile lapho ezola ngaphansi ku-FFC yizona-ke abangathanda dingi bakhulume ngazo ke ngoba kukhona umuntu athola ke inombolo bese nomunye athola inombolo ezifana ke nazomunye lezi athi beyikhiphile ke noma kwakhishwa ke inombolo eyodwa kade ikhishelwe abantu ababili bese bathi yona ke iphutha ke lelo ke athumele bacela manje ukuthi sikhulume ke mayelana nodaba lolo.
Do you understand?
Understand?
Thank you.
athi yebo ngiyakuzwa.
Now, only the allegations which are contained in affidavits on the basis of which this application was laid at the labor court. Are you in a position to tell or not whether the LPC at this stage is in a position to identify people who were beneficiaries from this corrupt scheme?
Oh, sorry. But I understood you to say the disciplinary inquiry is still supposed to take place. Is that not what you're saying?
Yes, my lord.
Yeah, we as lawyers, we know that there's a principle
Yes.
called
Subjudicate.
sub judice.
Yes.
Lawyers know that. You can't discuss that. Even if it's in the disciplinary inquiry, because that disciplinary inquiry is instituted in terms of a law. And this
Yes.
gentleman here, he's just an employee. Am I correct? You're just an employee.
Yes.
Who's the director there?
Mr. Ignatius Brill,
She's the head.
of the provincial office.
And then the national?
National office is Charity Nzunza.
Right. And I take it you must have signed a confidentiality agreement.
Exactly.
Yeah, so really, as Mr. Baloy says, it's a peripheral issue. It doesn't concern this court case we are having.
Thank you, my
And I
lord.
don't want people to say, oh, the judge what to rat, I has a lutho. Because the case, the pirates and the chiefs. Manje la, who's the rangers, you are futhi. You can't discuss that, you know that.
As it
And
please the
you are
court.
saying people have committed fraud and what have you and corruption, and the poor guy must expose himself to such. I don't know what happened.
I take the guidance, my lord, wholeheartedly, although I also understood him to mean that he's there to represent LPC.
No, he's not. He's a servant. Doesn't even have a mandate to talk authoritatively about a case like this, where there's a board. You guys got a board, is that not so?
We have a committee.
Committee, you call it a committee.
Yeah.
I know there's a board at national
Yes.
level.
Yes.
Yes. Which issues, directives, etc., etc.
So he has got limited mandates on which he can talk about.
Yeah,
Is that so?
it's like my
That is
clerk
so.
here. You see this gentleman here. Oh, he's now. I don't want to whisper something. when
There's
he's
one
not-
that is here, man. I'm not sure whether I got is referring to the
No.
gentleman here.
That's my registrar here.
May you please stand up, sir?
You can't comment on cases which happen here. Anyway, you can't.
As it please the court.
Just here to serve my purposes.
Yes.
Okay.
I thought the witness there introduced himself as a senior legal officer.
No.
What?
As a legal officer.
A legal officer?
Yes.
Yes. You're just not an ordinary officer, you're a legal officer. Not so?
Qualified legal officer. That's,
Yes, a qualified legal agent. And you're also an admitted attorney yourself, not so?
Yes.
Thank you. But let us proceed. I do not intend to make a meal out of this. But what again struck my mind is that Mr. Muchiyako, according to the letter that is here, apparently he also comes to realization that he was sharing a number with somebody else around, well, I don't know when he realized, but the email that he penned to the LPC with his complaints was around the 5th of December 2024, not so?
Bathi ke lapho umnumzana umjiyako ke mayelana nodaba lwenombolo zakhe ezikhethekile zokusebenza ngaphansi kwe-FFC wabona ukuthi na kuyisebenzisa ke nomunye ke umuntu uthi ngesikhathi wabhala email lena ke uyibhale max ifika kunyanga kaDisemba ngomnyaka 2024 kusinjalo.
Yes, from exhibit YY5, it does show the 5th of December 2024.
Athi yebo mina ngodaba ka exhibit YY kwititshe ngibhale ilanga la nge5 zaka December ngomnyaka 2024.
And you, according to the papers here and yourself, is that this was in response to a complaint that that was laid by Mrs. Scholz, that apparently she was sharing a number with Mr. Muchiako.
As I indicated, that this matter came to my attention from Mr. Mjiako's email,
Yes.
Of which the subject matter mentions a complaint.
Yeah.
However, how I took it was for me to rectify the issue with regards to his Fidelity Fund certificate number.
Thank you.
Wathi kwathola ke isikhalazo ekade siqhamuka ku-Scott ke lapho kathi yebo ngesikhathi wathola ke email lapho wathola lokho ke bese nakade bemcela ukuthi akalungise ke lo daba lo luqhamukile ukuthi ke kwenze njani ke noma iphutha liphi ke lelenzeka ngesikhathi ekhipha ke number lezi ze FFC number Fidelity Funds certificate lapho ke bese nakwenza lo msebenzi ukuthi alungise ke leyo nombolo lezo ke mara nodaba lesi certificate kaMnumzana uMjiyako sokusebenza.
Now we have already indicated what steps we have taken in order to rectify this, not so?
Yes.
Thank you.
Uzokhuluma ukuthi uyini owayenza ngesikhathi sokuthi ulungise lokho athi yebo kunjalo.
And that has been dealt with by Mr. Ramusipili. Thank you. However, one thing though that caught my attention, in 2024, Mr. Mjiyako says to the LPC, Ms. Scott is complaining that I'm sharing a number with her. I'm in 2021. Is it 2021? I think it's 20. In 2020, I shared a number with her. That number that you have read into record, it's not in dispute. And then in rectifying that mistake, you allocate, or you say Mr. Mjiyako was then reallocated with another number, not so?
In terms of the Fidelity portal
Yes.
that we use, the number that shows, let me see. The number FFC 13911 2020 was then allocated to Mr. Mjiyako in
Yes.
on that Fidelity Fund certificate.
Yes.
Athi ke inombolo lezi ke ngivuze akhale ke lapho bese bamnikeza ke inombolo ezinye ke zona ke ikhethekile ke lapho ke iqondile kade kuyize iqiniso ezwela ngaphansi ko FFC futhi Fidelity Fund certificate ezokuthi FFC 13911 2020.
You know, my concern here is we're talking about something that happened already in 2020, not so?
Correct?
Thank you. Now, this number, FFC 13911 of 2020, how could it have been possible for the portal to go back into 2020 and reallocate Mr. Mjiyako this number when the complaint is made almost 4 years thereafter?
As already mentioned, my position as a legal officer is
Yes.
at records
Yes,
department or section.
yes,
One of the responsibilities for that office is for us to have accurate information
Yes.
for each and every attorney and advocate that we have.
yes.
In this instance, this Fidelity Fund certificate shows that it was issued in 2020.
Yes.
Right. So, when the email from from Advocate Mjiyako I received,
Yes.
I then proceeded to contact the the Fidelity Fund offices to correct that.
Yes.
As a measure for us to have correct information for each and every attorney that we have,
Yes.
regardless of whether that complaint comes after
Yes.
the issuing of that Fidelity Fund certificate.
Thank you.
Athi-ke lapho-ke nosebenza ngaphansi kwe-LPC-ke lapho-ke lapho-ke i-legal officer athi esikhathini esiningi uma besenza-ke lo msebenzi wabo nakho kuthiwa khipha ama-records-ke lapho-ke futhi ngemuva ukuthi umnumzane uMjeko abe nesikhalazo mhlawumbe akhale ngokuthize-ke lapho-ke kula yena kosebenza khona-ke nabantu lapho-ke e-FFC thize athole-ke inamba-ke eqondile lapho mayelana nomnumzane uMjeko-ke bese inombolo lezi bese bazibuyisela kumnyaka ka-2020.
Let us try to dissect this, Mr. Sambo. So are you then saying that with this number, FFC 13911 of 2020, that is the number that Mr. Mjeko should have been allocated with in 2020?
That I cannot confirm. It's an answer to the system developer. As I said, that my responsibility was to then send through the
Yes.
email,
Yes.
asserting that the number has to be correct.
Yes.
The response that I received from our system developer was that
Yes.
this was a technical error.
Yeah.
This is the new number for Mr. Mjeko, or this is the number that Mjeko then has.
Athi-ke lapho ngeke khona ukukhuluma kahle-ke nodaba lwey'nombolo ezikhethekile-ke lapho-ke abantu bangakhuluma-ke lapho-ke abantu beze-system developer-ke bangashela iqiniso mayelana nalolu daba lolu.
So basically, you are just like myself, you are also hamstrung.
As to the technicalities of how the number arose,
Yes.
I cannot answer. That would be an answer for a system developer at the Fidelity Fund.
Athi mayelana nombuzo kade ubuzwa-ke ummeli ngeke akhona ukuthi awuphendule-ke lo mbuzo loyo kepha umuntu angaphendula umbuzo loyo umuntu eqhamuka lapho-ke Fidelity Funds account
Thank you.
noma
So,
give system developer yakhona-ke.
so you basically have come here as a conveyor of the message that you got from FFC. Whether that message makes sense or it doesn't make sense, we shouldn't really kill the messenger. Not so. What I'm saying is, we have just come here to deliver the information that you got from FFC. Whether that information makes sense or it doesn't make sense, it really doesn't concern you. You just the conveyor of that message yourself, not so.
I came to testify in terms of the records that we have for Advocate Mjeko.
Athi kofakazi nawuzelana ithizini alethe ufakazi bakhe mayelana nalokho bakushicilele phansi-ke mayelana nomnumzana Advocate Mjeko.
But this is some of the record that we received from you, not so. That in 2020, Mr. Mjeko already was allocated with the number 13911 of 2020. And at the same time was allocated with that number FFC 04115 of 2020, not so.
Correct.
So when asking you questions further, whether or not Mr. Mjeko in 2020 was using these two, or actually the portal allocated him with these two numbers, and then you are saying, no, I can't answer. We'll have to go and get that from the system developer. Is that not what you said?
No, I didn't say I cannot answer.
Oh, yeah.
I said that I am testifying in terms of what we have on our records,
Yeah.
which on our records, it shows that there was these numbers, and
Yes.
also in relation to Advocate Mjeko's email,
Yes.
to indicate to us to say like there are two numbers that are floating around. In terms of one number, I mean, for two practitioners, for Mrs. Scholes and Advocate Mjeko.
Bathi-ke khona lapha nodaba lwey'nombolo lezi ethi ngomnyaka ka-2020 umnumzane Mjeko kade asebenzisa zona-ke lapho-ke inombolo FFC 4415/2020-ke bese nalena-ke ethi lapho-ke FFC 13911 911-2020 ke bese uthi manje ngeke ukhona ukukhuluma ngeke ukhone ukuphendula noma ukukhuluma ngofakazi lobo ke kumele sikuze umuntu system developer ke athi ufakazi lapho ke nabakazi ukukhuluma manana nofakazi bokuthi kade khona ke inombolo eyodwa ke kepha inombolo eyodwa leyo kade isetshenziswa ngabantu ababili ke abehlukene mayelana nodaba lwe-email biqhamuka lapho kumnumzana advocate Mjiyako ngoba athi kade khona ke okade akhala ke lapho ke umama uScholes ngokuthi umnumzana Mjiyako usebenzisa ke inamba yakhe ke ngongemthetho noma komgulukudu ngoba ugulukudu kade abenzile.
Thank you, sir. Let us simply repeat. Your system was told, not so. Because LPC does not generate these FF numbers, not so.
No, we don't.
Thank you. So it is the FF, the Fidelity Fund, that generates these numbers and send it to your system and say that this practitioner is allocated to this number.
Correct.
Thank you.
Bathi lapho ke LPC yona ke eyenza ke inombolo kepha ke Fidelity Funds account eyenza ke inombolo athi yebo kunjalo ke.
How these numbers get generated, their authenticity, their rightness and their wrongness, that you can't testify about. You just depend on what your system reflects as you open it, not so.
Yes.
Thank you.
Bathi ke lapho nina ke inombolo anizenzi ngokwenu kepha zenza abantu lapha ke lokuza ne Fidelity Fund certificate athi yebo kunjalo ke bese thina siyazivula kuma mabivula kula sibona khona ke imininingwane yenombolo ethize.
Which is the reason why I'm saying to you, you're not in a position to explain why already in 2020, Mr. Mjiyako is allocated that number, that 13911 number. At the same time, gets also allocated with that 04415 number. Not so.
As I said, that will be a technical question for the system developer.
Bathi mina nodaba lwenombolo ke zimbili ke lezi kade yena kumnumzana Mjiyako bemnikeza zona ngomnyaka 2020 angeke ukhona ukukhuluma ufakazi bazo ngeke ukufakazi mina nazo ke athi yebo ke kepha ke umuntu ongakufakazi mina nodaba lwenombolo lezi ke umuntu omeze ukuthi system developer.
Thank you, which is the reason why I say you basically like in a position of a messenger who's not the creator of the information themselves. You just carry that information through to those that they are supposed to receive, not so.
As the record section, that's the information that we
Yes.
have, we then provide.
Thank you, sir.
Bathi usho ukuthi wena kufana ke nomuntu kade bemthumile ethi zela adlulise umyalezo ngokuba wena ke wena uqhamukise le nombolo lezi ke athi yebo kunjalo.
So the person that can come and try to explain our concern away, if they will ever be explained away, it will be that Mr. or Mrs. Herman.
Mr.
Or Mr. Herman. Thank you,
The
sir.
technicality of how the system would work, that would be.
Bathi usho ukuthi umuntu ongeza ke azositshela malana nodaba lwenombolo lezi umnumzana uHerman athi yebo uyena ke oselungelweni ukuthi ze eze alethe ufakazi ke mayelana nele nombolo lezi mhlawumbe nephutha lenzeka ke lapho ke ngaphansi ko Fidelity Funds certificate.
Thank you, Mr. Sambo. We are looking forward to meeting Mr. Herman. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Have a great day.
Uyabonga ke umail qedile ukuza kumbuzo kofakazi.
Under re-examination? Oh, sorry.
No questions.
You have no
There are
questions?
No questions to this witness. Thank you.
Sorry about that.
Maybe just one aspect note. Mr. Ramosipil, on behalf of accused number 2, asked you the following question, that in the trial within a trial and during the course of this trial, accused number 2 says that he never gave Mr. Mjiyako a mandate to represent him in this case or the Tlhabane case. But before you could answer, he then said it's an issue that Mr. Mjiyako himself can answer. Are you able to proffer any answer on that proposition that was made by Mr.
I cannot provide an answer for that.
wathi khona ke umbuzo wathi ubuzwe ke ummeli wakho kumnumzana
Thank you, that is all,
ukuthi ke wena kathi ngesikhathi elikhona komzila ngaphakathi komzila wona washo ukuthi wena awukazi ke ummeli omnumzana umjiya yakho kulicala noma kwicala lasebuhlabane athi yena ke ngeke akhona ukuphendula ke lapho ke kepha ke umuntu akhona ukuphendula noma nodaba lombuzo ke umnumzana advocate umjiya yakho kepha umshushisi bekabuza ukuthi ingabe usho ukuthini ukuthi ngekhona ukuphendula ngabe unesiqiniseko salokho noma yinto kade isho nje kuphela ke leyo ke athi cha ngeke ngikhona ukuphendula namanje.
If I can just pursue that with one question. Are you aware of any correspondence that touches on that issue of the mandate
No,
that is under your control?
no.
Thank you.
Bathi ngabe unalo yini ulwazi olwela ngaphansi komsebenzi wakho nodaba lolu cha anginalo.
Mr. Ramusipili asked a question, or he made a statement or a declaration that it's not directed at you, it's just directed at the lawyers here and the public, that they will await the evidence of Mr. Mjiako. Am I quoting correctly? Sir?
I'm saying if he's caught,
Yeah, if he comes, you'll
if he
await that.
comes. Yes, but that doesn't mean.
No,
I am
fine. No,
coming
the onus is not on you. I know
Yes.
that. But we as lawyers, can an attorney who has been given instructions give evidence against his former client? The legal principle of attorney and client privilege. You don't have to answer. I'm just talking about it. Think about it.
I've also thought about that when I put the proposition.
Yes.
But if it's renounced,
Yeah,
they
bro.
can testify.
It must who renounces it?
Yes.
Who renounces it?
Is that right?
Yes, that's the point.
Yes.
Doctor, did you hear that? Okay. Are we, Baloy, Mr. Baloy, when are you will be able to get that information?
Is it now the
Yeah,
information that
you
was
said
mentioned
you were
on
collecting
Friday?
it, and
Yes.
tomorrow, you will get it tomorrow or when?
My
Or
lord,
can you estimate?
I spoke to the investigating team. In fact, I received a message from them very in the early hours of this morning. It would appear that they must still set about to get that information.
So I will come tomorrow in any case.
So they haven't started as yet, my lord. But yeah, maybe we should convene tomorrow
Okay, fine.
and just maybe properly plan the way forward.
Okay, thanks, sir.
Thank you.
All the luck. How old are you now?
34. 34.
34. Okay.
Sawubona
Jen.
bafowethu. Sokuya kusasa.